welcome my fab fans to Glam's new video. I will be making coasters. I've set up all of my denims. I have so many of these like green trays. I think that shows how many I have completed over the years. This one that you guys chose is themed yin and yang. So I guess all of them are yin yang themed and very colorful. So stay excited, you know, because they're really pretty. I just heard someone compare Mountain Dew to moonshine, and I find that hilarious. A fun little fact about Mountain Dew that it may or may not be true. There is no evidence or proof about it other than what I've witnessed in real life is Mountain Dew is the same as birth control for men. If a man drinks Mountain Dew, he is less likely to be able to reproduce. It makes you infertile. And the only evidence I have that suggests that this might be true is as soon as these two men stopped drinking Mountain Dew, they got pregnant like that, like almost immediately with their girlfriends. But this one couple that is still drinking Mountain Dew regularly and trying for a baby every time they can, still has not conceived at all. Also, to not allow a menopausal woman to have, like, her tubes tied or, like, her uterus to be taken out is really cruel if it keeps causing them more issues to have the organ. The reason we do amputations in the first place is if it causes us more pain and distress in the long run to have the limb than to not have it. Because phantom pain is told to be horrendous. Because you can't itch the itches that you're feeling. And it's wild. Something I realize is a really fucked up thing to do is tell a person who has like phantom pain symptoms or is missing a limb, you're so very itchy. That's something cruel you can do to someone like that. I'm gonna turn the volume of myself down because I've noticed that it helps make it so that the mic is less buggy if I turn me down. I think it's funny when people question my knowledge. Like, I don't know why I know this stuff. I just kind of do. I have 2 reasons that I like to post my shitty artwork, though. Is if I make a mistake, I want people to know that it's possible. I'm not gonna draw something nice 100% of the time. If I'm drawing in my art style, I'm more likely to do it perfectly fine the first try. If I'm drawing in just general, it's probably gonna be better than if I'm drawing in a new art style or trying to mimic something. Give me a few tries, I'll get it right eventually. It's called practice, and it's a new art style. Also, anyone to assume I have a drawing tablet? That's hilarious. Yes, I can record videos and have them in different angles. All of the stuff I can do now is all stuff that was gifted to me. Most of the stuff I have was either gifted to me from my parents or gifted to me from people online. But also, I can't do digital art. I suck at digital art. Anyone to assume that a traditional artist is good at digital art just off the bat, that's hilarious. No. To say that I haven't tried to dabble in it, I have. But the only type of drawing pen I have is this, and this barely, like, comes up when I'm using my tablet. Half the time, my tablet can't even feel that I'm tapping buttons. I wish I could turn the sensitivity up, but I guess not. Also, I don't mind drawing something shittily the first try. And I don't mind trying new art supplies. But the only one I've ever truly practiced when it comes to art supplies is charcoal. Charcoal and lead pencils. That's literally all I've ever practiced with my entire art journey. And I just now started experimenting with color when it comes to drawing. Don't get me wrong, I did used to color a lot, but never like in an artist way, more of just filling in coloring books because I got bored. The reason I started trying new art styles, though, was for fun. Because I get bored very easily. also people being like, yeah, when we talk about this person, they get called a narcissist. But, like, they're like, no, this person's just traumatized. I'm like, thanks, guys. Am I self-critical about my art? Yes. Anyone who's in my group chats knows exactly what I do, talk shit about my art. I'm like, I need to fix this, this, and this about this, and I hate it because of this, this, and this. I can, at the end, when I go through my notebook to show off all of the artwork, I'm gonna go back and fix it and, like, go in with acrylic paints. Like, just fix everything I hated about every piece. If you ever got to hear how much shit I talked about my art in my head rather than out loud, you'd feel bad for my art. You'd be like, what the fuck is wrong? It's not that bad. And I'm like, it's horrendous. What are you talking about? This is wrong, this is wrong, this is wrong. No, my critique side of my brain is extremely mean. And if I ever let that happen to other people, they would probably cry. I had a person who was like, I don't want unwanted criticism on my art. And I'm like, then don't share your art. I said that in my head though, because like, the whole point of people criticizing it is so that you can learn from your mistakes and get better. I look at some of my friends' artwork and I'm just like, wow. And then sometimes I'm like, oh, that's nice. The only time I really am like, oh, that's nice, is because it looks like the art of a certain age group, which means they're at a certain level in their art's development and skill to where I won't judge them. Or they're curating their own style. If they're curating their own style, then it's correct even if it's wrong to them. Because technically, if it's your own art style, it doesn't fucking matter how it looks. It doesn't have to be proportional. It can be weird and strange and goofy. There's no rules when it's your own style. There's only rules when you're trying to draw something else. Did I go to college for art? Hell yeah. Do people criticize me the same way I do? Yes. But also they criticized your art, and I'm just like, bro, I know it's bad. I kept smudging it so bad, and my line work got so messed up that I couldn't even follow it anymore, and I was just like 5 seconds away from scribbling on it, and my arm was like hurting the entire time, and I was just miserable while drawing and I did not want to draw her at all at that time, but I needed to post videos. So I kind of just continued to do it anyway, which is fine. But I spent 3 hours on an art piece because I was using, not only was I using a new medium, I was trying a new art style. And I didn't have a good reference photo. These might sound like excuses, but these are valid things that you need to have correct or know how to use in order to do well when drawing. You have to use a medium that you understand to draw well. You have to use... you have to be careful. But I kept smudging my art piece, and so I just was giving up slowly. And as I took longer and longer, and my arm persisted to hurt, because I sprained my arm, fully sprained it when I was drawing the your art. So for it to look halfway decent, despite how bad my arm hurt the entire time, I'm kind of okay with how it looks. Is it good? Hell no. Could I do it better? Definitely. Am I going to? Next time I draw her? Anytime soon? No. Do I hate criticism? No, but I also know that if you criticize the wrong person, they're gonna mute your comments, and I don't want that for you. Be careful. Some people take criticism so hard, and it's embarrassing. Like, you're a 30-year-old man. You should be able to handle criticism. Some adults act worse than children, and I'm just, like, embarrassed for them. Like, you can handle a little bit of criticism. You're not good at art. Not to the extent you should be. Because, I mean, if you're still drawing things and not getting proportions right, but, like, in your 30s and been drawing for years, then you need more practice. Or you need to find your art style. Because not everyone is meant to draw every art style. Hate to break it to you. I have art styles that I refuse to follow because I just know I won't like to draw them and will do shit at it. Like any type of modern art, I'll say. Like pour art, liquid art, any type of fluid art, fucking hate them. I don't like certain art styles. And also, like, any type of art to do with, like, dipping your nails. It's pretty watching other people do nail art, but I personally hate everything about doing nail art. I can give myself really nice plain acrylic nails, but as soon as there's an art element involved, I'm really like, hell no. Fuck off. I can give myself a nice plain set of acrylics. Don't ask me to do nail art. I will not want to. Which is ironic, because I do like art. And I do like watching nail art. Another type of art I will never do, and would rather have someone else do. Tattoos and mandalas. Like, henna art. It's gorgeous, but I fucking hate it, and I know I would never do that. Because I just think whenever I do, it comes out ugly. It's not my art style. And I've tried to do mandala art. My brain just doesn't work like that. I don't like straight lines. I like natural looking lines. Which is why I kind of like drawing flowers, and I don't mind drawing people. I quite like drawing people, but I don't like realism because I have a very skewed perception of reality, and people are like, you draw my imperfections, why? And I'm like, I don't know. I like them. They're pretty. I'm the type of person who will draw and add hip dips if you have them, because they're pretty. I'll draw your stomach slightly chubbier because it's cute. I'll give you those smile lines and stuff because they're pretty. I like my favorite part of art when it comes to realism is drawing people's insecurities. But I also can't draw myself, and I'm usually the only person I have as a reference when I'm drawing. But every single time I look in the mirror, I see a completely different thing. I look completely different every time I look in the mirror. I see a completely different person every time. Very similar, but different. And it's not fun having that type of mental problem with yourself and your image. So every time I've ever drawn myself, it's looked completely different and not like me. It looks like what I was told that I looked like, rather than what I actually look like. Like, the first tries I've ever done when trying to draw myself, it ended up looking like my mother and not like me, because I was constantly told I look identical to my mom. And I don't look identical to my mother. I have some features that match hers, but I'm not identical to her. I'm my own person. some people being like, I don't think I'm into enough stuff to like this. Dude finding out he's way more vanilla than he thought. No, because I know some wild shit. I got a video for the 25th. Posted. Some people are definitely too vanilla for conversations. If you're asking about kinks from a person who knows information on the kink and you're not ready for the answers, you're more vanilla than you thought. Because I know far too much information about kinks. Some people are not ready for information. Something I realized that makes me more unhinged, but also probably a little bit more dead inside than you might have thought initially, is I used to be afraid of getting hurt physically. I used to be terrified that I was going to get hurt. And now that I'm an adult, I realized I'm missing so many nerve endings that I can't really feel pain that much. So when I react, I'm like, oh shit. But that didn't hurt. Like, why? Like, I stabbed myself through my finger enough to bleed. It went all the way through my finger. I just took the knife out and put a Band-Aid on it until it stopped bleeding. And then continued to play with said knife. I was playing five-finger fillet. 10 out of 10 do not recommend if you're afraid of getting hurt. Even if you are afraid of getting hurt, make sure you use something other than a knife until you're good at it. But as soon as I realized I can't feel as much pain as, like, the average person, I immediately am just like, oh, okay. I was originally afraid of getting stabbed, and now I'm just like, if it happens, it happens. But they're gonna fucking die if they do. And apparently that's something that's common in my family, is, if we get hurt physically, you better be gone by the time we get up. Because we're going to take you down with us. But I'm also probably way more depressed than when I was a kid, so that probably contributes. feel nauseous. So something that's been, that I've had to deal with since I started working where I work is one of our kitchen staff likes to stare at me. They have kids. 3 of them. They're in like their 50s. I don't want to be stared at. But even my coworkers are starting to notice that they do this, and they're like, did they ever like go near you, like in a weird way? And I'm like, no, not yet. It's only been staring. I've always found it creepy that they stared at me in general. But I also know that's how all kitchen staff act when it comes to me that I've worked with prior. So I'm kind of just used to it. Even when I was a kid, though, I'd get stared at. I probably should not be used to that. Because my friend, she realizes she gets stared at and says something immediately. But I just kind of ignore it because I'm just like, I don't want to deal with it. I've said something before too, to managers, and they've just kind of brushed it off. Like, can you tell them to like not stare at me? It's weird. I've also yelled at people for staring at me before, but like not a coworker. But apparently some of my coworkers are like, he kind of gives me like creep vibes, and I'm like, wouldn't be the first time. I've had to deal with many creeps in my entire life, so I kind of just learned to ignore them and move on, but also threaten. That's also why I like to show off my beautiful knives. And the fact that I don't care if I get stabbed with one as long as you get stabbed with it first type facts. I don't care what happens to me, but if I get attacked, I'm going to make sure the other person ends up dead. That's my one goal. And apparently everyone in my family is like this. We don't care if we get attacked or in a fight, as long as we win. We could even end up dead, as long as the other person is dead, doesn't matter. But our adrenaline is going to keep us alive till the other person is gone. Maybe we're slightly psychopathic. But I don't know. I can empathize with people, so I can't be a psychopath, because that's a quality that a psychopath lacks. I can feel emotions with a person. I have something in my brain that tells me that's not a good idea. now schizophrenic, on the other hand, that's possible. Because that runs in my bloodline, and honestly, it's very possible for it to be passed down, and very common to be. For this entire day, I've been having major stomach issues, which is fine. Though my manager was like, "Are you okay with not having a break today?" And I'm like, wouldn't be the first time I've been asked this. I just kind of accepted my situation. The thing is, he says, I don't think he's that good online. And I'm like, he doesn't suck. He's better than these people were. So I guess I'm a hype-up person when it comes to things. Like, yeah, they can read a little bit more. They can try a little bit harder. But this is also their first day ever working outside of the kitchen. And English is not their first language. But he also kept trying to be the expediter when the only people who should be expediting are the people who are on registers. He needs to learn to stay in his position and stay out of everyone else's. I had to yell at him like 3 times, stop going over here, stay online, only focus on getting that shit done. Do not put things in bags if you are not the expediter. Just make the food. Just put it together. Just prep. The only 2 people that can expedite are the register people and a manager. Otherwise, it should not be touched by anyone else online. Like, yes, some people can expedite and do the, like, making of the food. But I genuinely would rather do the expediting myself. I'm more likely to press the X button and delete it if I do it myself. But also the amount of times that I have to yell at my like coworkers to look up to realize that it's just a misclick. Or you don't have to do that, or it's already been done. Social awareness, please. The lack of communication is there too. I hide in the corner for a reason. I don't want to deal with the shit. Also, if there's too many people working, it gets cluttered, so I just avoid moving from my position. I also do not want to have to tell people to get back online. It should be common sense. Stay in your position. I like how I just spent a while complaining about how people are not doing their jobs properly. Also, I'm very upfront about being a lesbian, so the fact that my coworkers still try to flirt with me or assume that I might end up liking them is wild. I'm very open and upfront about the fact that I'm not attracted to men. I never will be, never have been. I thought maybe I was at one point when I was like in high school, because I was like, I really don't want to be gay. It would make my life so much harder. I did not ask to be this way, I just am. It wasn't a choice. Okay, well, I finished. Peace, love, good night, my fab fans, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye!